Welcome back and thank you for joining us. Now, following our phone-in segment where you shared your views on U.S. troops in Nigeria, we now turn to a deeper discussion on the topic, U.S. troops deployment analysis on impact on national security. Now, earlier this year, under a new U.S.-Nigeria security agreement, around 200 American troops were deployed to Nigeria. Their role is non-combat, focusing on intelligence sharing, military training, and counter-terrorism operations, particularly against groups like Boko Haram and Islamic State-affiliated militants. Now, the partnership also includes a targeted support for vulnerable communities with initiatives aimed at protecting religious minorities and strengthening local defense capabilities. Now, supporters argue that the U.S. presence brings advanced capabilities, improves regional stability, and reinforces counter-terrorism efforts. Critics, however, caution against potential sovereignty concerns, dependency on foreign forces, and the need to safeguard human rights and civil liberties in affected areas. An analyst also highlights that such deployments carry social economic impacts from local investment to potential social tensions, making transparency and accountability essential. Now, joining us this morning to unpack these issues is Dr. Abdulrahman Abu Hamisu, who will be joining us virtually this morning. He's a security expert, academic, and public affairs commentator. Dr. Hamisu will help us understand what these deployment means for Nigeria's national security, regional stability, and the wider implications for counter-terrorism efforts in West Africa. Thank you, Dr. Hamisu, for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning. Good morning. So let's start off with the reports we've gotten concerning the U.S. troops that are coming strictly for training and adversary roles. I mean, not to combat on the battlefield, but in real conflict situations, can training truly be separated from operations? I mean, for example, if they're training Nigerian troops on intelligence gathering, or rather targeting, does that mean that we're indirectly shaping their contributions and also that of the Nigerian army into a battlefield decisions? So we need to understand this this issue clearly so that Nigerians can be well informed and others too will also get an insight of what this will do for fighting the insecurity issues that we're having in Nigeria.
Well, thank you very much for your question. You see, in other crime and other places, it all depends on the structuring of the agreement and what Nigeria commits to. You could equally separate training, intelligence gathering with operations, though they are intertwined and linked, but there is a thin line separating them. When you are able to gather information in terms of intelligence gathering about movements of the terrorist groups, their logistics supply, their choke points, and then where they can be hit hard and get result. You wouldn't want to risk public or some sections protest. And that is why it is carefully couched, because even the federal government of Nigeria knows that some section of the country don't really like anything America. The sentiment is against America because they believe that America, wherever it goes, leaves some challenges behind, and rightly so, especially in northern Nigeria, that they have this age-long aversion to anything America, majority of the people. And that was why when the war against terror started in 2000, 2001, and America invaded Afghan, Iraq, and other perceived Islamic countries. The protest was on in northern Nigeria, and the solidarity was with those countries that were invaded. So in order not to risk the uprising opposition of northern Nigeria or some part of the country to the U.S. troops that are coming in. I think federal government is being careful by separating operations from training and intelligence gathering to show that, look, we're still in charge of the counterterrorism measures. We're implementing it. We're in the field. We're at the battlefield. But the U.S. is coming to provide support in terms of training and intelligence gathering and using their advanced intelligence gathering systems and networks. So I think this is being done carefully so that people may not really rise against this very particular partnership.
So when they talk about, technical support and adversary contributions from the U.S. troops to the Nigerian army, in practical terms, what does that really mean? Are we going to see, drones intelligence? Are we going to see huge surveillance technology? Are we going to see, a lot of equipment that we don't have here at home to fight this battle?
You see, let us be very clear about some of these things. We all know that in diplomacy, what is presented to the public is not actually what the real motives are. We all know that today America is in competition with China. It is in competition with Russia. And these particular two countries are already in Africa. And the coup in Niger, in Mali, in Burkina Faso, was triggered because of the opposition of the military and the people to the kind of democracy that is being practiced in those countries that subjugate them to the interests of France, America, Britain. So those coups took place, and the domino effect was beginning to spread, and there is a need to counter that. So in diplomacy, things that are passed to the public might be different. You could see the issue of Greenland is still there. The issue of BRICS, Iran versus Israel. And here you have Africa that we're beginning to witness democratic reversal. And when you talk about democracy in Africa, the greatest beneficiaries of the kind of democracy we practice is almost and always the Western countries led by America. First, America, Britain, France, Germany. These are countries that benefit whenever there is democratic system of governance. So by the time the military took over in Niger, in Mali, in Burkina Faso, the alarm bell was really set off. So mostly interventions are couched in benign languages that shows benevolence, that shows that they care and they want to assist. Now, whether we're going to say advanced drones or not is another different ball game entirely, because you and I are not even in a position to ascertain whether we're going to see drones or not. And whether we like it or not, there is a limit to which technology can work. The actual source of intelligence is the people. I remember there was an intervention in some of the states in the Northeast when the fight against drug abuse, cattle rustling, and other things were on. And we realized that there was no trust between the communities and the security agencies. So what did we do? We brought the communities together with the security agencies to discuss and to have a hard way. And in that very particular meeting, or several meetings that were convened, concerns of the both parties were heard, especially the people. And they said that when we give information to the security, it usually leaks. And this is our fear. And they went further to say that the channel of communication was not well spelled out, and all of those were done. And before you know, information continued to flow in opposite directions and results were gotten. And before you know, the security challenges were brought to an end. So I want to say that it is a shame that in 21st century, especially 2026, Nigeria, that was restoring peace across Africa and participating in peace operations across the world, is relying on another nation to come and provide us surveillance and whatever. It's just unfortunate that we have countries like Pakistan. Pakistan today is a nuclear power. Look at Iran, Iran of 1979. Iran today is relying on itself. So why is it that in Nigeria, we can't rely on ourselves, despite the claim to being the most smartest people on earth? Is it that we don't have people that have drone technology? What is the issue? The issue is simple. We don't believe in ourselves. We believe that anything foreign is better. We believe that America has answers to our problems. But let us interrogate the legacies of America in the areas that they fought terrorism. We were told that they were fighting terrorism in Afghanistan. What happened in Afghanistan? They left the Afghans to their fate. After 2 decades in Afghanistan, were they able to uproot terrorism in Afghanistan? No. In Iraq, Iraq today has been a battleground for the training of terrorists. So what was the legacy in Afghanistan? What happened in Libya? Now, you cannot create problems and then pretend that you are coming to solve those problems. When Gaddafi was being attacked, we talked about the implication of allowing Gaddafi to be removed, because at the end of the day, we are going to pay heavy price for that very particular miscalculation. And today, Libya has been turned into arms smuggling point that is threatening our collective responsibility, because the arms that were used to topple Gaddafi, the arms that were pumped into Yemen, are all finding their ways into Africa, especially Nigeria, because of our porous borders. And today we are complaining of insecurity. We want America to come and assist us. Why should Americans come and die for Nigerians? And Nigerians cannot die for Nigeria, because Nigeria is ours to protect, not America's to protect.
All right. Dr. Hamisu, now speaking of intelligence sharing, we know that according to the reports that have been given, or the information that has been given, the U.S. troops are supposed to be in Nigeria on a non-combat, role, as well as training and advisory role. Now, when it comes to intelligence sharing, how will it be done between United States and Nigerian forces for it to work in practice, and what safeguards ensure Nigeria commands authority at this point when it comes to intelligence sharing?
You see, intelligence sharing, it all depends on how you look at it. But when they tell you intelligence sharing has no borders. Intelligence sharing will be information about movement of troops, their finances, and then if a country is not strong enough, cannot stand its ground, the same thing we're seeing now. I want to tell you that Nigeria cannot even tell the Americans the kind of intelligence information they should access or not to access, because we are junior partners. We look at them as overload. In fact, we look at America as our God in this country. And so I want to tell you this categorically, that we are not in any position to tell the Americans the kind of information they should access or not. Even if we deny them information, they have a way of getting information. So if you read WikiLeaks very well, under late President Musa Yar'Adua, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, sorry, when he was ill, you practically could see how Nigerians they could get our knowing in terms of which is even the basis of the ongoing fight between America and China, which is responsible for Trump's claims to Greenland. It is just something that almost all pundits, especially those that are in the know, felt that America wanted Nigeria as a counterweight to the alliance between the Sahel state, the three Sahel states that are broken loose from ECOWAS, and the Chinese, and then the Russians. So it's part of the broader fight that people seem not to understand. So if we are told today that terrorism, the fight against terrorism, is being used as an alibi, or the safeguard of the interests of minorities are being used as an alibi we won't say no, because all the indices are on the ground, and it is glaring that the most important thing that is driving America, Amok, and all over the world before any other thing is Nigeria to solve our problems. It's not a welcome development, but we're saying that wherever America goes, it is its interest first before the national interest of the country that it is supporting. And at the appropriate time, it can pull out, it can do anything. So this is the fear, because where America has gone to fight
All right, I believe we're having some technical glitches when it comes to our connectivity with our guest. Thank you to our guest, even though he's not here with us right now.